Hey, I'm Jeremy Ashburn with PushLeads, helping small businesses get more leads without struggle and frustration. And what we're talking about today is show the address, win the map. This is the case study for being visible at the top of Google Maps. So one setting really for ranking signals, real consequences. So what I found here, I have a client of mine I've been working with for years, and they said, I don't really mind having a hidden Google business listing. It's going to be fine. And I said, are you sure? Because studies have shown that if we show the Google business listing, then you get like a 1 to 2 to 400% bump. And actually, I later on discovered it was 566% bump. So that's kind of crazy. Decided to show their address. We had a huge bump, and that just went crazy. And then we're going to look at data here from Whitespark and other places. And we're just going to dig into it. So here we go. Home services companies skip is they don't think about showing their actual address. They don't go through the frustration of trying to get a Google business listing with an address approved by Google, but it definitely can be done. So what Whitespark is saying here is that 4 out of the top 10, when you're talking about the Google business listing and showing up in Google, is really all about your address, right? So Whitespark surveyed 47 expert local SEOs and scored 187 factors. And basically hiding your address means that you're just not going to be visible. And they looked at all of these things like the primary category, the preview velocity, on and on. Everything was all really about the actual physical address. So pretty wild. And then in another study, they actually hid the address and said, hey, we have a physical address. What happens when we hide the address? And guess what? The rankings fell. And then when they brought the address back, the rankings returned. Or I'm talking about Sterling Sky, right? So pretty wild and unbelievable. And in Sterling Sky, this report basically looked at 8,100 addresses in 200 plus cities. And they really just saw the same thing, that basically they looked at plumbers and HVAC and locksmith and garage door service people, and having a hidden address or a service area business was a negative correlation to showing up in Google Maps. So Google won't approve your Google business listing if you don't have a real location. But man, get a co-working space and get an office. That's where I'm at. And I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, and it's kind of unbelievable. And you can show that you actually have a physical location, and it's amazing. So show your address. So the other problem is that if it's the wrong address, then you have this lost consumer situation where 62% would avoid a business with no address or give up, and 7% would give up entirely. And then, so the directions only exist when you have an actual location for someone to go to. So show the location. And then this is the client that I'm telling you about. They do a vacation rental management. So I do SEO, got about 40 clients, and as well as remodelers and construction companies. And what we basically saw here is that they had 12 keywords at the top of Google, and they're on the West Coast in California. And finally, the guy said, okay, I'm getting a physical location, showed the physical address, and we went from 12 to 40 searches at the top of Google, like literally within 2 weeks, 3% increase. And then later on, it became 566% increase when you look at the weighted visibility, the share score. And so everything points to having a real location. Don't try to hide your address. So you're like, well, why? A real address shows all of these things. It shows proximity signal, right? So Whitespark was like noticing that's like a huge factor. It shows centroid advantage. So if you're close to a larger city, you're going to get more visibility. Like I'm based out of downtown Asheville. I've got a Google business listing for that. And I have a hidden location for where I live down in South Asheville. And all the traffic goes to the actual real location, the actual physical address. So you also have a directions button, and you have local pack eligibility. So a real address, baby. It's all about a real address. And citations work better when there's an actual address. So when AIs are quoting you, and if you want to show up in AI searches, basically having your name, address, and phone number that we call the NAP, this is huge. A visible address equals consistent citations, showing up in AI search, showing up to Google. And if you have different phone numbers or different addresses, that's not matched up, and that's not good. And then the ranking radius is real. Google uses your verified address to point, not your drawn surface area. You're showing up basically in a 2 to 5 or 10 mile radius from your pin, like wherever you're based. So let's just say you're based in Cleveland, Tennessee, right? You're going to show up in a 2 to 5 mile radius around that area. And so it's all about having the address. If you hide the address, there's no pin. So service area boundaries really don't even show up, and you're going to get some searches, but it's going to be really, really low compared to actually having a real location. And then, of course, let's just do some pushback here. Not everyone agrees. Hiding your address has no impact. I'm like, well, real world examples. I can show you a real world example of a client who went from 12 to 40 to 50 terms at the top of Google. And other people are kind of saying, well, it doesn't happen. But real world example, somebody working with 40 plus clients, bam, it's real. So now, here's the thing. You do want to show your address or have an address, but you need to have a real location. It needs to be somebody who's really at the location with permanent signage. Customers can come in and visit you. If you've got a shop and you have a service, so someone might come to the shop, say you're an auto repair shop with roadside service, still show the address. Never hide the address or make yourself a service-based business unless you have no other choices. Like unless you are working out of a home office and you just want to show that you are in an area, but you don't really care about getting leads from Google, right? Or showing up really in AI searches. So if you're truly mobile only, like a plumber that's on the go, then you could hide the address. You obviously never want to fake anything with Google. You know, Google doesn't like that. Google is like a woman who has been abused over and over again, or a man, right? And she's just like, hell no, I'm not going to be abused again. So she knows what to look for in the same way that, well, Google isn't a woman, but if she was, she knows what to look for. So you do not want to screw around with Google. So fake it and you lose everything, your actual virtual office, your residential, your oversized area. So you don't want to fake it. It's really your industry, your decision. HVAC, plumbing, restoration companies, show your address. Roofers, landscapers, dumpsters, show your address. Garage door, have a real actual physical location and then go on the go, right? So you do have to do the video verification. It is totally doable, but yeah. And then it's important to win on the signals you do control, right? So you're not powerless. You can focus every optimization dollar on the factors that don't require an address, a visible address. So if you have to hide it, you make sure you have your primary category picked, make sure it's the right one, make sure you're getting steady new reviews, make sure you have your Google business profile completed, get with an SEO person or marketing person to make sure it's done, or ask an AI, ask Claude. I'm really a fan of Claude versus ChatGPT, but just use an AI and have it look at your address. You can also make service specific landing areas. Let's say you do water damage restoration in Knoxville, Tennessee, right? So you could just say water damage restoration, Knoxville, Tennessee. And so you can make some inner hidden pages and blogs about that, right? So that's important as well. And then this is the data behind showing your address versus hiding your address from Whitespark, Sterling Sky, BrightLocal. This is all like the data. And the thing is here, being upfront and honest and letting Google know that you're a real business doing work. That's what it's all about. Google wants to help local businesses grow. They get paid, when they're, and then you're using their tools like Google Ads, things like that, local service ads. So it's really, I'm just kind of repeating myself here, but the math here is this. One of my vacation rental management companies went from 12 to 40 searches at the top of Google. So it is huge. So your action plan here is to ask yourself some questions. Do you have a staff location? Do you go to a place to work? If no, hide your address. Wah, wah, sorry about that. But make sure you have your category picked. Is your address hidden? Then optimize other factors, publish inner hidden pages. Hey, do some YouTubes. Studies have found, I just read this today, studies have found that if you do a YouTube and post on YouTube, that's about 25 to 29% of the equation for showing up in Google's AI, right? So one of the reasons why I'm posting this on YouTube and LinkedIn and other places, so if you do have a physical address, make sure it's the right location. And your Maps pin is more than just your logo. It's your business. Show it. protect it. Don't have PO boxes, virtual offices. Improve your Google business profile today, or reach out to us. We'll do that for free. We can do a quick audit for you. And that's it. I'm Jeremy Ashburn with PushLeads. I help small businesses get more leads without struggle or frustration. Reach out to me if you have any